Well, I'm just going to lay this out to you, and thank you for the very short introduction. So let's be on my way. So, okay, notes ready? Let's dive in. The first principle, and I'm indebted to John MacArthur for some aspects of this presentation. The first principle is the principle of expedience. The principle of expedience is that you will ask, will it be spiritually profitable? If I do this, it's not written black and white in the Bible. Okay? Will it be spiritually profitable for me? Okay? The word expediency means the quality of being convenient and practical despite possibly being improper or immoral. Convenience, the act of political expediency. The Apostle Paul in 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 12 says, all things are lawful for me. Yes, I'm a Christian. I can do these things and these are lawful for me. But not all things are expedient. Not all things are helpful. Paul is not talking about those things that are lawful or unlawful or sinful. What he's saying here is that all things that are not lawful are lawful. All things that sort of in the middle ground, that non-moral area, are lawful for me. He's saying that all things are not unlawful, are lawful for me, but all things are not. This word literally means to my advantage. These are not to my spiritual advantage. They do not profit me. So you ask yourself the question that Paul is posing right here. Will doing this thing enhance my spiritual life? Will it be profitable? Will it be expedient? Will it cultivate godliness? Will it cultivate goodness? Will it be profitable to me? Will it be to my advantage? Will it profit me? The most common resolutions during New Year's are the following. Number one is to lose weight. Papaya. Ask yourself, will this be profitable to me to have this extra weight? For example, this couple, they were waiting out at McDonald's, opens at 5 a.m. Take a look at the clock, it's still 3 a.m. So they're there waiting until the opening of McDonald's. The second is you quit a bad habit, whether you are a drunkard or having a bad habit. So this person says, isa na lang talaga, wala na, isa na lang. Isang pagkakataon na lang, isang inom na lang, hindi ko na uulitin. Yan lang talaga. Last promise. Okay, wala na talaga. The third one is pay off debts. Mga utang. Sino sa inyo may utang? Okay? Talk of the town, okay? Mga utang sa kantin, okay? Present and previous, and panahon ni Marcos, may mga panahon pa na may mga utang pa, okay? Pay off debts. Let's follow the example of this one storekeeper in Mindanao. Lahat po na may utang sa kanyang tindahan, nilagay niya yung mga pangalan sa harapan. Hoy, Meme Salazar, utang mo, 25, bayaran mo na. So lahat po, shame campaign, nilagay niya lahat ng mga pangalan. Inting Canoy, Elpidio Cabales, Jerven Ogapa. Ito yung listahan ng mga utang mo. Okay? And then, 1 week after, the reporters from Philippine Daily Inquirer went back to this person, and lo and behold, all those posters are gone. Why? Because they paid it off. Okay? Binayaran na nila, nadala sa shame campaign. One of the common resolutions is to use Facebook less. Wala na ibang ginawa sa buhay kundi mag-Facebook. Wala na lang lahat. Sakyan, bahay niya, basta makapag-Facebook lang, ay okay lang. Okay, so nakapabebe dyan, please. Okay, number 2, the principle of edification. So the second question is, will it build me up? Will it build me up? If I do this thing, will it build me up in my Christian life? So the first question is the principle of expedience. The second is principle of edification. Edification means the instruction or improvement of a person morally or intellectually. The idea that art's main purpose is to supply moral uplift and edification. That's an example. You edify someone. We find this in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 23. All things are lawful, but not all things are helpful. All things are lawful, but not all things what? Build up. Well, I can do this thing. I can do Facebook all day long. Okay? Pwede ako manligaw maghapon, but not all things build up. The word here is oikodomeo. It means to build a house. Will it add to my life the things that increase my spiritual ability, my strength, and my maturity? 1 Corinthians chapter 14 verse 26 says, "Let all things be done unto edification." Will it add to my life the things that increase my spiritual ability, strength, and maturity? Huwag naman sana na nakita ko kayo sa kantin, ganito ang inyong ginagawa, na wala na ibang pagkain, kundi yan na lang. Will this build you up? Number 3, is very, very fast. The principle of excess. The question you're going to ask here, will it slow me down in the race? If I do this thing, will it slow me down in the race? Okay? We are all in the race of life, right? Okay? Who do you know is the fastest runner in the Guinness World Book of History? Usain Bolt? Who? The fastest runner according to Guinness World Book. The fastest runner is Adam. Okay? Adam. Okay? The second fastest runner is Eve. Why? Because they were the first in the human race. Bible students, pick up, okay. Number 3, the principle of excess. Will it slow me down in the race? Excess, an amount of something that is more than necessary. It's there, but it's more than necessary. You don't need it, okay? It's more than permitted or more than desirable, or you're suffering from an excess of stress in your life. Talking about the faculty and stuff, excess of stress in your life. Okay, the verse here is Hebrews chapter 12 verse 1a. Therefore, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us so lay aside every what? Weight. And that's not sin, because sin is mentioned in the next word. And sin, okay? This is not sin, okay? This is just weight, okay? Extra baggage, okay? Mabigat. And sin which clings so closely, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us. So in order to be rooted Christians, radical Christians, we have to check, will it build me up? Will it be spiritually profitable? Will it slow me down in this race? The word is onkos, weight. That's where we find the word oncology, where we get the word cancer. Okay. Cancer is just excess cells. Oncology, onkos. It isn't sin, it is needless book, something that weighs us down, diverts your priorities from your studies, takes away your attention, and sucks all your energy, dampens our enthusiasm for the things of God. Well, I'm really happy for the cheering squad, and for the cheering that happened. I was not here, I only saw it in Facebook. Very, very dark. But what happened during the week is that all the quizzes and all the students were needlessly unfocused. I have nothing against cheering and dancing, but this is needless weight. Okay? If you focus too much on that one, just a reminder. This man is what's his name? Kyle MacDonald. Kyle MacDonald has achieved exactly what we see in how small things can count to much. Okay? Kyle MacDonald is saying he wants to exchange this red paper clip to other things bigger than that paper clip. So in July 14, 2005, he went to Vancouver and traded the paper clip, this paper clip, to a fish-shaped pen. And then he traded the pen the same day for a hand-sculpted doorknob from Seattle, Washington, which he nicknamed Knob T. On July 25, 2005, he traveled to Amherst, Massachusetts with a friend to trade Knob T for a Coleman camp stove with fuel. On September 24, 2005, he went to California and traded the camp stove for a generator. On November 16, 2005, he made a second and successful attempt. This is all online, internet. He made a successful attempt after having the generator confiscated by the New York City Fire Department in Maspeth, Queens, to trade the generator for another generator. Okay, and he traded it for an instant generator for an instant party. Okay, it has an empty keg, beer bottles, and everything that's there. Okay, and a neon Budweiser sign. On December 8, 2005, he traded the instant party in Quebec to a radio personality for a snowmobile. Within a week of that, he traded the snowmobile for a two-person trip, for a truck, and then he traded this truck for a contract for recording contract in Ontario, Canada. On April 11, my birthday, he traded the recording contract to a year's rent in Phoenix, Arizona. Okay. And on April 26, 2006, he traded this 1 year rent in Phoenix, Arizona for one afternoon with the Kiss singer Alice Cooper, a date with Kiss singer Alice Cooper. On about June 2, 2006, he traded this meeting with Alice Cooper with a snow globe. With a snow globe with a specialized signature by Kiss. And then he traded this snow globe to a film appearance at the movie Donna on Demand. And then finally, on July 5, 2006, he traded this film rights to his Target from a paperclip. His Target, he got that only 1 year after of trading, July 5, 2006. He traded that to a house and lot in Kipling, USA, July 14. Small things build up. Nothing is indispensable. Nothing is unimportant. So be very careful about your life. Number 4, principle of enslavement. Will this put me into bondage? So the first is expedience, edification, excess, enslavement. Will doing this put me into bondage? Enslavement, the action of making someone a slave, subjugation, the enslavement of millions of Africans. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 12. All things, please read, ready, go. All things. Louder.
All things are helpful.
All things
are lawful for me,
but I will not be dominated by anything. Yes, I can do this. I can do that. I should not be dominated by anything. We should never allow a non-moral thing to become our master. There are many things that can enslave us, that come from creation with God, which God designed to be ruled by us. Ask yourself the question, ladies and gentlemen, will this put me into bondage? Does it have the potential to make me its slave? And I'm talking games here. Okay. Currently, there is a COC tournament going on in Trinoma right now. I'll be there later. But anyway. In fact, there's another game that's called exactly dominations. You are to be dominated by anything. I did a research on why these games are very, very popular. It involves 4 emotions. The first emotion is that curiosity. You're curious. Paano ba ito nilalaro? Tap Titan, tap, 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 tap. How do you do this? So you're curious. The next is that you're amused. Nagbibigay pala ito ng gems. Nagbibigay pala ng gano'n. And then third, you are frustrated. And this is the secret. All along, we think that playing games makes us happy. Actually, it does not. It makes us frustrated. Who here has played Flappy Bird? And all the frustration of not having passed post number 5. Okay? Frustration. Whether it be Tap Titan or anything, you're frustrated. And because of that, it brings a desire for you to do the whole thing all over again. And then do the whole thing all over again. You are curious again, amused, and then frustrated, and then comes the desire. Do you know how much Supercell, the maker of Clash of Clans, makes per day? Ask me. Louder, how much? 220 million pesos per day. That's how they benefit from all these things. Number 5, principle of equivocation. Will it hypocritically cover my sin? Okay, if I do this, I'm free to do this, but I'm actually covering up my sin. Equivocation means to use unclear language, especially to deceive or mislead someone. 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 16 says, live as people who are free, not using your what? Freedom as a cover-up for evil. Sometimes we Christians says that you follow me because I'm the pastor. You follow me because I'm a graduate from Febias College of Bible. You don't know what you're saying. I know. You're using that to cover up for something else. And that's not usually happening here, but even in history, throughout the Crusades, or all our history, we cover up things to make sure that people obey, people are subjugated. Will it hypocritically cover up my sin? Pag wala ng pera, cost na lang, ito na lang gagawin. Okay, cover this up, and then lagay ng ganyan. Mas original pa yan. Or if you don't have the money, ganyan. Okay, that's the real apple, put that there. And then pag wala na talagang computer, just use TV, and then plancha para sa... It's very budget conscious and very... Number 6, the principle of encroachment. You ask yourself this question, will it violate the lordship of Christ? Okay? If I do this thing, if I taste this thing, if I do this thing or not, kapag sinagot ko siya, non-Christian, pag naligaw ako sa kanya, non-Christian, will it violate the lordship of Christ? That's not very clear in the Bible what some of the things that we need to decide are, but you have to ask yourself this question. Will it violate the lordship of Christ? Will it encroach on the lordship of Christ in my life? Encroachment means intrusion on a person's territory, rights, etc. Romans chapter 14 verse 11 and 12 says, for as I live, says the Lord, every knee shall bow to me and every tongue shall confess to God. Everyone and everything shall be and is for the Lord. Nothing for us. We only bow down and we serve God who gives us all these things as a benefit. And that's why we thank the Lord. But there are times that we forget. We are encroaching on what God has given us. Ask yourself, if I choose to do something, does it fit with what I believe is the will of Christ the Lord in my life? To violate that in my mind would be to take the control of my life. That is usurping the lordship of Christ in your life. I don't want to do that. That's encroaching on God's property, on God's territory. The biggest thing in encroachment is the choice between whether you serve God or you serve money. Serve God or you serve money. This is my wife, Kathy. She's also a graduate from Febias College of Bible. We're happily married 12 years now. Palakpak naman dyan. 12 years. We're happily married 12 years now. She's happy. I'm married. At the start of our marriage in April in 2003, we had a lot of blessings from God. Okay, so many came to the wedding, and then many were invited. We had a lot of blessings from the Lord. And then I was a budding pastor already in the church where I'm serving now. But the church has a problem. Okay, the pastor has now wed, and it's a very good ceremony. And now the problem is, the next month, in May, is the church anniversary. And the church was in the red during that time. Walang pera pang anniversary. Mapapahiya ang church. So what we did, the first thing that we did as husband and wife, was to give away some or a large amount of our money to the church for that month. Call it first fruits giving. We wanted to honor God in our resources, and even until now. The church where we are serving, it's between this rich guy and us to be the top giver in the church. And we've seen blessing after blessing that God has given us. He has blessed us ever since. I was given the top position in our denomination of about 160 churches nationwide. Semester after semester, I am blessed with the opportunity given me by Febias College of Bible and Grace Christian College to be teaching. The Lord has blessed us with 2 beautiful kids. Last night, I came home late. LSR, who is 4 years old, stood behind me and massaged my head and asked, "How are you, Papa? How's school?" He knows that I am a teacher. "What did you do in school?" Then I answered, "Oh, I gave a quiz to my students in Hebrew prophets. And they were not happy." I'm blessed with a great ministry that God has given me in the church. And it has grown, and it has, it's an evidence of how God has been blessing this ministry. All because we have taken the chance to say, "Lord, you are first in our lives and nothing else." Number 7, the principle of example. Will it help other people by its example? If you do this, okay? If you say this thing, if you react that way, will it help other people by its example? That's what you need to ask. Example, I think characteristics of its kind or illustrating a general rule. The verse here is 1 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 9. "But take care that this right of yours," yes, we have rights. Everyone, all of these are lawful. And yet, this right of yours does not somehow become a what? Stumbling block to the weak. Okay, so we default in that because we are weak. Make an example. Last Father's Day, I gave a series of exhortations to be like the Father, who is a very good example to us. Nagbigay po ako ng mga halimbawa kung paano po ba ang isang tatay na karapat-dapat at pwedeng gayahin to follow these types of fathers. The first one is, sabi ko, dapat ang tatay ay matapang. Okay? Sabi ko sa nila, dapat ang mga tatay ay matapang. Kahit anong problema, kakaharapin. And then, dapat ang mga tatay ay malakas. Can I show this? Sorry, can I show? Okay. And then, lahat ng mga tatay ay dapat gagawin yung imposible. Okay? So, kahit anong bagay pa yun, kakainin mo na lang, bibigay mo pa sa mga anak mo. So, gagawin ng imposible. And then, of course, dapat may sense of humor, marunong magpatawa, mga tatay. So, dapat maayos ang pamumuhay, and then, marunong magpatawa. May what? Tayo natin matapos. And then of course, ang mga tatay ay click na click sa inyo yan. And then of course, yung mga tatay ay dapat ay gwapo. Sorry, this is a new MacBook, so I'm just getting learned this. He's not here. I asked his permission, so okay. Number 8, steady lang. Number 8, the principle of evangelism. Will it lead others to Christ? So what do we have? The principle of expedience, edification, excess, enslavement, equivocation, encroachment, example, and then evangelism. If I do this, will someone else be led to Christ? Evangelism, the spreading of the Christian gospel by public preaching or personal witness. The verse here is Romans 14, verse 18. Whoever thus serves Christ is acceptable to God and approved by men. So then let us pursue what makes for peace and for mutual upbuilding. Peace with God, okay? Madaming mga iba't ibang uri ng mga Kristiyano sa ating mga buhay. And then number 9, okay? We're nearing the end. I'm out of tricks now. Okay. Principle of emulation. Will it be consistent with Christ-likeness? Okay, so we ask ourselves, will it be consistent with Christ-likeness? Emulation, the effort to act like someone else. For example, your emulation of your older brother on the basketball court might create a rivalry between you as you become a better player. So emulation. 1 John chapter 2 verse 6, whoever says he abides in him ought to walk in the same way in which he walked. So you have to ask yourself this question, am I like Christ? Am I like the Lord Jesus Christ? In doing this, it's much like WWJD. What would Jesus do? Or WWJS, what would Jesus say? when he or she is in your position. Now, I have here an app I just downloaded from iTunes. It's called an automatic photo maker. So it gives a very accurate depiction of who you are, or a picture of you, just by getting some details of your life. This program will produce a photo of you by using the data you insert, describing your facial features. Okay, the result will be perfect, but they are pretty close. Here are some of the examples. Okay, this one. Okay, so I just need a volunteer and someone to answer the following questions. Okay, who wants to volunteer? Libre yung laptop ni Sir Osan. Okay, so yun, pamimigay. Okay, okay. Let me call Faith Mabilog. Okay, palakpakan natin Faith Mabilog to come here at front. Okay, hi. Dito siya student ngayon. Thank you po. Okay, come to the front. Okay, another round of applause from the parent. Thank you. Okay, hi Faith. Okay, good morning. Okay, I just need you to answer some of these questions. Okay, microphone please. Okay, lapit mo na lang. Okay, thank you. So this is Faith. Okay, I just need her to ask the following questions. Okay, Faith, hair color. Okay.
Black.
Black. Okay, palakpakan natin black. Okay, hair type.
Body wave.
Huh?
Body wave.
Body wave. Okay, body wave. Okay, eye color.
Brown.
Brown. Okay, brown. Nose shape.
White.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. The first one, second, third, or fourth.
One.
1. Okay, 1. Mouth shape. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Which one?
7.
Okay, 7. Okay, let's put it on 7. Okay. Ear shape. Which one?
1.
Huh?
1.
Round ear, free lobe, square. Which one? 1. Okay, 1. Face shape. Oval, square, round, heart, oblong.
Round.
Round. Okay. Skin tone. White, pale, tan, brown, dark brown, black.
White.
White. Okay. Race or ethnicity. Hispanic, Caucasian, Asian, African.
Asian.
Asian. Gender. Just making sure. Age group.
17.
Okay, 17, yes, okay. Okay, questionnaire is complete. Your data is processed. In a few seconds, you'll see the result. We hope that they'll be as close to the original as possible, okay? Let me click this next here. Okay, data analysis complete. Okay, let's check. Let's check if your picture is the same. Okay, ready, set, go. You're made in the image and likeness of the one who created you. Faith, your physical appearance is not important. What really matters is that He made you in His likeness and that He loves you just the way you are. And then finally, thank you. We go to the last one. This principle actually is just, you can summarize all these things with just one. Will it glorify God in my life? The principle of exaltation. So what do we have? 10 principles. The principle of expedience, edification, access, enslavement, equivocation, encroachment, example, evangelism, emulation, and then exaltation. All by Pastor Elmer. Okay, exaltation, the act of elevating someone in rank, power, or character, the resurrection and the exaltation of Christ. You know the verse, 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 31. Whether therefore you eat or drink or whatever you do, let's read this all together. Do all to the glory of God. My friends, fellow teachers and workers in God's ministry, let us be radical Christians for the Lord. In Grecian times, during the time of the Apostle Paul, when the Olympics was just beginning, they had this unique race. It is a race, a running race, wherein they would be running from first to last. Okay? Kung sino mauna hanggang sa dulo, siya yung mananalo. But the thing is about this race is that they would be running with torches in hand. Okay? With light on the torch in hand. Dito nanggaling yung mga torch relay na umiikot sa buong mundo. But in the original, it was actually a race. So there would be 5 or 10 runners, all with torches in their hand. And then when the go signal is given, they would run fast, of course, so that they would be the first to reach the finish line. But they must make sure that when they reach the finish line, their torches are still lit. There's still fire on the torch. The thing is, if you run fast enough, the fire will be snuffed. And then you go in first, and you don't have any fire in you. You go slow enough, others will come ahead of you. You just run together with the pack, or just enough, so that there is still light burning when you get to the finish line. The Apostle Paul must be referring to this when he's saying, I have finished the race, I have kept the fire, the faith. When you finish the race that God has given us, will your light still be lit? Will you be disqualified or not? Will you be rooted still in the Lord Jesus Christ? Let me end by a quotation from a non-Christian, from Mother Teresa. Mark Hatfield, a senator from the US, was touring Calcutta, India, and found Mother Teresa, and he visited the so-called house of dying, where sick children are cared for in their last days, and the dispensary where the poor line up by the hundreds to receive medical attention. While Mark Hatfield was watching Mother Teresa minister to these people, feeding and nursing those left by others to die, nakita niya habang pinapakain nila, mahaba yung pila, namamatay pa rin ang marami. And yet those children who are there in that house of dying, or in that place, were still few, napakarami pang mga bata sa labas. And they're still dying. And so here is Mark Hatfield. He said, how can you bear such a load without being crushed by it? How can you do this? All these children are dying. Don't you get frustrated? Don't you want to quit? Mother Teresa replied, my dear Senator, I am called to be successful. Not to be successful, I am called to be faithful.